This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat and fart. We keeping the foot on the whoop, the Knicks. We keeping the foot on the whoop, the Knicks. And like the Tibetan Mastiff that I am, and like the Siberian Tiger that I am, I'm applying whoop on immediate pressure. Because pressure does what? He bursts his pipes. Let's talk about it, man. Stephen A. Smith is absolutely right, dog. He is emphatically right. Stephen A. Smith, dog, you're going to get a muscle up for the day, dog. Let me say it again. You're going to get a muscle up for the day, dog. Because all Stephen A. Smith said that was the truth. And it is emphatically the truth. Because a snake, at times, will have his fucking day. It's as simple as this. Stephen A. Smith basically said that in his eyes, LeBron James would never eclipse Michael Jeffrey Jordan. It's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, But in this most cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth teller fashion, you didn't need to come to that conclusion. Now, Stephen A. Snake promoted to Stephen A. Smith for the moment. You know, you promote yourself and then demote yourself. Let me say it again. You promote yourself and then demote yourself. Either way, you do something that puts you into a 50-50 scenario. You're a half-truth motherfucker. And we all know half-truth motherfuckers are liars. But in this instance, you're telling nothing but the cold-hearted, nothing but the unadulterated, and nothing but the cutthroat truth-teller fashion. LeBron James was never on MJ's level. The fact that people are comparing him to Kobe Bean Bryant, the fact that people have eclipsed him in their minds over Kobe Bean Bryant, you don't know nothing about basketball. No, I have to channel Roger Mayweather. You don't know shit about basketball. Let me say it again. No, let Roger Mayweather say it again. So here, Roger Mayweather, and here, Roger Mayweather. Well, you don't know shit about basketball. Because if you knew basketball, you wouldn't make that fatal error. You wouldn't make that gaffe. You wouldn't say that erroneous thing. How can you have LeBron James in your top 10 but not have Kobe Bean Bryant in your top 10? It's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, But Kobe Bean Bryant's death showcased it to you guys. It denoted to you guys. And it basically gave you guys the identity that no matter how much greatness personification can only be hindered, the motherfucker can't be stopped. And the greatness personification of Kobe Bryant that couldn't be hindered is his greatness. The greatness personification can't be stopped is the fact that Kobe Bean Bryant is what he is. And the identity of Kobe Bean Bryant is one of a black mamba, one of a slam dunk giant, because he is Kobe Bryant. A guy that understands that he infects the game of basketball to a mentality level. Look, you got the Mamba mentality. That means that Kobe Bean Bryant left a lasting legacy. There's nothing more beautiful than a man leaving a legacy and leaving his own legacy in life. Kobe Bryant has left his legacy, man. He has studied in theological schools. He has studied in schools in terms of schools of thought. How to gird yourself up. How to never give up. How to do things through hard work and dedication. How to not quit. How to have that come hella high water mentality. Where do you think that came from? Kobe Bean Bryant. This guy right here was such a mentor that He Knows Everything. It's not even funny, dog. Anytime He Knows Everything's alpha male energy felt Wayne, he'll just watch some Kobe Bean Bryant clips, dog. Or listen to Kobe Bryant talk. Because he understood the greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped when it came to Kobe Bryant. Or he'll just pop up and look at some Michael Jordan highlights. Listen to Michael Jordan talk. Because this is how alpha molding and training has to continue to be. You never stop alpha molding and training, man. But you get it from mentors, dog. You get it from father figures, father personalities, father role models, dog. You get it from these active fathers in the home. You get it. Whether it's a spiritual father and the man above, or whether it's these men that can impart alpha male energy, man. Because you have to constantly fight your alpha male energy. Kobe Bean Bryant constantly fought his, and he fought the good fight of faith. Michael Jordan constantly fights his, and he fights the good fight of faith. It's called greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. So I'm glad Stephen A. Snake came to the Stephen A. Smith conclusion that when it was all said and done, there was no way that LeBron James won a Mickey Mouse title, the laughing stock of NBA annals, a fraudulent, fluky NBA fucking title, which is the laughing stock of NBA annals, a least path of resistance, an infinite Tsukuyomi, a virtual reality, though. And like the movie Ready Player One, when you take off the virtual reality goggles, you gotta come back to motherfucking reality, man. When it's all said and done, the identity of a Michael Jeffrey Jordan and a Kobe Bean Bryant is that of such, which is as simple as this, that when it's all said and done, these guys represent greatness personification, can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. That is the embodiment of a Michael Jeffrey Jordan. That is the embodiment of a Kobe Bean Bryant. That is the embodiment of what these guys represent to the game of basketball. See, a lot of people don't understand this, and a lot of people don't get it. When it's all said and done, the Michael Jordan and the Kobe Bean Bryant game is the way. It is the ultimate way in basketball. Not admitting this, not coming to this cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth teller fashion conclusion, it showcases that your basketball knowledge is limited. If you don't say that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bean Bryant are the two greatest basketball players you've ever seen play the game, if you don't say that that style of play is the greatest game we've ever seen in basketball, then you don't know shit about basketball. And you're not authorized, you're not calculated, you're not verified, you're not certified, and you are not approved to talk basketball. When we look at LeBron James, we see a fraud. When we look at LeBron James, we see a guy that has not ushered greatness personification. Because we see a guy that tells us that greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. We have to ask ourselves these cold-hearted. We have to ask ourselves these unadulterated. And we have to ask ourselves these cutthroat truth teller fashion. What is that? That when it's all said and done, Michael Jeffrey Jordan represents NBA GOAT material. Kobe Bean Bryant was golden NBA GOAT material. Not no LeBron James. And if you are going to attach GOATness to LeBron James, it has to be greatest of all trollsness. Let me say it again. If you're going to attach GOATness to LeBron James, it has to be greatest of all trollsness. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat truth teller fashion. When it's all said and done, Stephen A. Smith had to re-slap his ass right back into Stephen A. Smith and unslap his back from Stephen A. Smith, because he has gone back and forth with this shit. This is why he's constantly promoting and demoting himself. He has actually uttered this year out of his mouth, hey, if LeBron James win this title, man, I don't know, we're going to have to revisit the GOAT conversation. But see, LeBron James is a fraud. Let me explain something to you guys about frauds. Frauds will always find themselves to do fraudulent things. Let me say it again. Frauds will always find themselves to do fraudulent things because it is incumbent upon a fraud to be what? A fucking fraud. That's what LeBron James is at his truest and his most properest levels. A fraud. He's fraudulent. Everything about him is fraudulent. His basketball game is fraudulent. The way that he conducts himself is fraudulent. The way that he comports himself is fraudulent. The way that he moves is fraudulent. And you guys thought in giving him credibility for a Mickey Mouse affair, in giving him credibility in a least path of resistance affair, in giving him credibility in what we call infinite Tsukuyomi, a virtual reality affair, in giving him credibility in what we call, which is as simple as this, an NBA pick-up a game fair, and then he got first rounded this year, which is a things that make you say, no, let's contextualize it. It's a lot of things that make you say, But when it all boils down to it, the truth of the fact of the matter is as simple as this, that Stephen A. Smith is right. And he had to G-check Chris Bosh. Because Chris Bosh, you got disrespected by LeBron James. He treated you like a third-rate basketball civilian. You got disrespected with the Miami Heat so many times. And you sitting here running your rabbit-ass mouth to sit here and say that LeBron James is greater than Michael Jordan. Where's your proof? Because a guy that loses 6 times in the NBA Finals, loses as many times as Michael Jordan has won in the NBA Finals, you've been disqualified 6 times over. The first time LeBron James lost in the NBA Finals, he was disqualified. This is what NBA GOATness is all about. This is what MJ has basically made the standard absolution and resolution. And if your NBA Finals record does not denote 100% absolution and resolution, then guess what? You have no right to even put yourself in that breath. There's one basketball player that almost eclipsed Michael Jordan, but he fucked around and lost to the Detroit Pistons, and he fucked around and lost to the Boston Celtics in 08. If Kobe would have won those two finals, dog, Kobe would have had 7. We'd have been talking a whole different conversation about NBA GOAT, but this shit didn't fucking happen. See, this is the standard that Michael Jordan has set. That if you want to beat Michael Jordan, you got to go 7 for 7. You got to never let that thing go to 7. You got to have 10 scoring titles to his 9 scoring titles. You got to have 6 regular season MVPs to his 5 regular season MVPs. You got to have 7 NBA Finals to his 6 NBA Finals MVPs. This is what you got to give. Michael Jordan was a NBA All Defensive First Team 9 fucking times. You got to get 10. Michael Jordan was a Defensive Player of the Year. You got to get 2. Everything Michael Jordan do, you got to do 1 up. And Kobe Bryant tried it because that's why he wore 24. Because 24 was to represent. If you ask him, this is for the real G's, the super real G's, and the ultimate real G's out here in these basketball streets that understand basketball at the highest levels. This is for basketball 303 lane folks and higher. Kobe Bryant wore 24 because he wanted to say that he was 1 greater than Michael Jordan. And 24, just the irony in it, happens to be my number. And I appreciated KB24 for that shit. But he fell short. He was so fucking close, but he fell short. That's the guy that if you want to talk about NBA GOAT conversation, you talk about Kobe Bean Bryant. You don't talk about no LeBron James. But this participation award era, the identity of these LeBron James, LeBron-tards, the identity of these LBJ apologists, the identity of these LBJ stands, the identity of these LBJ brigade, the identity of these what we would call LBJ riders media, upheld the greatest of all trolls as their shining beacon. But in all essence, he was a la false la idol. Let me say it again. He was a la false la idol. That's the cool party. That's the underdog trade. That's the country true telefashion. Chris Bosh, stop the presses and pump the brakes on the nonsense. Go sit down somewhere and what? Higgity fucking hush. Stephen A. Smith, you get the biggest salute of the damn day. Because when it's all said and done, basketball knowledge, basketball true wisdom, basketball true and rare NBA purists know without a shadow of a doubt, without fail, without question, that you always put Michael Jordan and you always put Kobe Bryant over LeBron James. Absence doing this, it showcases you as a peon brain. It showcases you as a brain full of mush and a brainwashed doodlehead. And like Roger Mayweather say, you don't know shit about basketball. I keeps the foot on Hicks. I keeps the foot on Hicks. This is He Knows Everything. Check it out.